Welcome to the very first episode of Baselines, the podcast that discusses Australia's defence bases and the projects shaping them. I'm your host, Darian Macy. I've been in and around defence bases for 25 years, and I'm excited to share what I've learned over that time. For today's deep dive, we're going to explore the significant redevelopment project happening at Orchard Hills in New South Wales. There's a lot to unpack here, from parliamentary reports to community concerns. So if you work in defence infrastructure, whether in design, construction, or project management, this is the session for you. So first things first, what exactly is Orchard Hills? It's an expansive defence establishment about 9 kilometres south of Penrith. The site primarily deals with explosive ordnance, meaning it's a hub for storage, maintenance, training, and even demolition of explosive materials. It also includes administrative buildings, accommodation facilities, and an active demolition range. The variety of operations makes Orchard Hills a crucial asset in Australia's defence landscape. But why a redevelopment? Well, Defence's aim is to bolster the capabilities and resilience at Orchard Hills, ensuring it remains effective and modernised for evolving strategic defence requirements. The redevelopment is about future-proofing the base, upgrading infrastructure, improving operational efficiency, ultimately adapting to Australia's changing defence needs. So what exactly is happening on the ground? The entrance and security of the base are getting an overhaul to ensure more robust access control. They're developing improved working facilities and accommodation for personnel stationed at the base. This includes modern living amenities, recognising the importance of personal welfare in operational effectiveness. And there's a new state-of-the-art training facility being built for the Defence Explosive Ordnance Training School, designed to ensure that personnel dealing with explosive ordnance are trained in the best conditions with the latest technology. This entire redevelopment is estimated to cost around $359.3 million, which includes all aspects of the project from design and construction to contingencies. It's a considerable investment, which speaks to how vital Orchard Hills is for Australia's overall defence strategy. This redevelopment also ties into a larger initiative, the Guided Weapons and Explosive Ordnance Storage Program, or GWEO. This program runs alongside the redevelopment, aimed at increasing Australia's munitions stockpile and ensuring that the country has what it needs for any contingencies. Orchard Hills is a major site for this expansion, involving the construction of $244 million worth of new, earth-covered storage bunkers and related infrastructure. But what about the local community? For a project like this, it naturally brings concerns, especially for those living nearby. Given the nature of operations at Orchard Hills, storing and handling explosives, residents understandably have concerns about traffic, noise, safety, and environmental impacts. Let's talk about the safety measures that Defence is implementing. Safety is, of course, paramount, and Defence has strict protocols in place. The base is designed to meet or exceed international standards for explosive ordnance storage, including earth-covered bunkers, which are crucial for containing incidents related to explosive materials stored at the base. Defence is rolling out new and improved designs. We're talking thick, reinforced concrete buried underground. The idea is to ensure that even in the worst-case scenario, the impact is minimal, with the force of the blast being directed upwards rather than outwards. And then there's the safeguarding arcs. These arcs are calculated buffer zones that ensure incidents are contained within the base. They take into consideration the type and quantity of explosives being stored to create a safety perimeter. This means that if something goes wrong, the risk is contained within the base, not spreading into nearby areas. Another safety protocol worth mentioning is UXO clearance. UXO stands for unexploded ordnance, and clearance is a precautionary measure to ensure that the site is free from any old, unexploded ordnance before new construction begins. This is essential for a base that's been around for decades. With Orchard Hills being in an area of experiencing rapid growth, managing the base's expectation alongside community concerns becomes a complex issue. Defence has been working with state and local planning authorities to align their development with the broader regional growth plans, aiming for a balance between Defence's needs and community interests. However, the Defence Neighbours Association has raised some valid points. They represent local residents, and they've voiced concern over transparency, safety, and the impact of the redevelopment. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll unpack some of the community's concerns. Hey listeners, if you're working in defence infrastructure, you won't want to miss this year's Christmas Infrastructure Social. We're hosting this exclusive event on the evening of the 27th of November at Canberra's Overlow Nishi Hotel. This is your chance to connect with industry leaders, key decision makers and professionals from across the defence estate community. Whether you're in town for the big industry briefing on the 28th or just looking to build your network, this is the place to be. We had some amazing feedback from our last event. People loved the connections, the venue and the atmosphere. Tickets start at just $110, but they're going to sell fast. So mark your calendars and join us for an evening of valuable networking, great food and Christmas cheer. For more information and to grab your ticket, head over to decnet.com.au/events or reach out to me directly at darian.macy@decnet.com.au. All right, so Defence has been working with state and local planning authorities, aiming for a balance between Defence's needs and community interests. But the Defence Neighbours Association has expressed some valid concerns about the project. Firstly, traffic and noise. Increased activity at the base means more vehicle movement and potentially more noise. Defence has held community information sessions to try and address these issues, but these concerns remain. Secondly, safety and explosive ordnance handling. A significant worry is whether the redevelopment and the GWIO program will lead to more frequent or larger detonations at the base. Controlled detonations are a standard part of ordnance work for training and safe disposal, but residents are worried that the redevelopment might increase the frequency or intensity of these detonations. Thirdly, there's the bushfire risk. Orchard Hills is in a bushfire-prone area, and managing that risk is critical. During the parliamentary hearings, committee members observed a standard fire trail around the facilities, but Defence Neighbours Association questioned whether this was sufficient. The base's policy of letting fires burn if they occur in an ordnance storage area rather than actively fighting them is controversial. Defence considers direct firefighting in these areas too dangerous due to the nature of what's stored there. However, this raises valid concerns about the fires spreading beyond the base and affecting surrounding communities. The association is pushing for an independent assessment of the bushfire risk rather than relying solely on Defence's internal evaluations. They believe an unbiased expert evaluation is essential for transparency and community reassurance. Similarly, there are concerns around the safeguarding arcs. Defence has stated that the current arcs will remain unchanged, even though the amount of munitions being stored at Orchard Hills is set to increase. Residents, on the other hand, argue that more explosives should mean larger safeguarding arcs for safety. Defence contends that the new earth-covered bunkers will effectively contain any potential incident, making it unnecessary to expand the buffer zones. However, the association is calling for an independent explosives experts to review this, ensuring the community is adequately protected. Beyond these immediate concerns, Defence Neighbours Association has raised a broader question. Is Orchard Hills the right location for this kind of facility long term? As urban development continues around the base, the risks associated with handling and storing explosive ordnance increases. The association suggests that Defence should eventually consider relocating GWIO operations to a more remote area. This kind of proactive, long-term planning could reduce risks for both Defence and the community, providing a more sustainable solution. During the parliamentary hearings, Defence responded to these issues by assuring the community that they've carried out all necessary risk assessments, engaged thoroughly with stakeholders, and implemented best practice safety measures. They emphasised the necessity of the redevelopment and the GWIO initiatives for Australia's strategic defence objectives. At the same time, Defence recognised the importance of community engagement, highlighting the efforts like information sessions and consultations with local representatives to address resident concerns. This brings us to the bigger picture. Orchard Hills is a crucial element in Australia's defence strategy. The redevelopment and GWIO program represents substantial investment in national security. However, as with any major defence infrastructure project, there are competing priorities, boosting defence capabilities while also respecting and addressing the concerns of local communities. The Orchard Hills project exemplifies the complexity of defence infrastructure. It's not just about building new facilities, it's about balancing national security with community safety, trust, and transparency. Community engagement must start early, be honest, and continue through the project lifecycle. It's about fostering trust and ensuring those living near these facilities feel respected and heard. To wrap up, building defence infrastructure isn't just about operational needs. It's also about relationships with communities, with stakeholders, and with future generations who will live alongside these facilities. The key takeaway from Orchard Hills is that early, genuine, and ongoing community engagement is crucial. It's about planning strategically for the future, considering both Defence's needs and the community's well-being. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Orchard Hills. I hope you found it insightful. The decisions made today will shape not only the future of Australia's defence, also its relationship with communities across the country. Let's ensure these decisions are informed, transparent, and balanced for everyone involved.